Welcome back to Hear What I'm Saying. This season, we're unpacking texturism, not just where it shows up, but how it lives in us. And today, we're talking about a chapter we don't always revisit, honestly, the 90s and the way Black men were chemically altering their hair with processors such as Dukes and S-curls. This conversation isn't about trends or technique. It's about what those choices represented, acceptance, safety, masculinity, and sometimes survival. We're also drawing parallels between Black men and Black women because while the pressure around texture shows up differently, it often comes from the same place. I'm joined by Darius, a barber and barber educator based in Austin, Texas, of Premium Fade League, to help us reflect on what that era reveals about identity, self-image, and how far we've come and how far we still have to go. Welcome to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Stewart. Today, for the second time joining us, we have Darius Nims of Premium Fade League.
What up, what up?
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for accepting the invite once again.
For sure.
You know, I had to have you on the show to discuss this important topic. I couldn't think of no one else.
Well, I appreciate you.
Because you got that old school, but that new school way of being a barber. And I think that's very important to mix the two.
Yeah.
Because we can't leave the foundation out.
Nah.
The foundation is, you know how important a foundation is for anything in life.
Oh, without the foundation, you crumble.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You crumble.
And so even the information that you push out on Instagram when you're constantly educating, even to the simplest things as far as disinfecting.
Right.
You know, that's important to show people. Like, I really take pride in what I do besides how you look.
Right.
It's also the prepping, you know, to make sure that we're following these safety, you know, precautions to know that you are well taken care of.
Right.
So I just really admire what you do, you know, out here for the barber community.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And also thank you for all that you do for the beauty community.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Look,
I'm trying.
Many years you've been consistent with the podcast. You've been bringing on many guests.
Yeah.
Doing wonderful things, just spreading great awareness.
I appreciate that. Thank you so
Especially for the
much.
Black and browns.
Yes, so absolutely.
We appreciate you for all that you do.
I'm trying. I am trying my best. It's not easy, but you got to show up. It is what it is. If you start something, stay consistent, see what happens to it, and just go with it. And these conversations are needed. You know, you have a lot of them behind the chair.
Right.
I love them too.
Yeah.
And so it's information that people need to know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yes, indeed. So before we get started, do you mind reintroducing yourself to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast?
So I'm Darius Nims, as Kenitra said, owner of Premium Fade League. I've been a barber for over 10 years. I just kind of fell into it. I never desired to be a professional barber. I just kind of started cutting my own hair out of necessity. And one of my best friends was a barber. I'm not going to say he was like licensed in a shop, but he just was really, really good at what he did, which I always give credit to him. He doesn't take pride in being a barber either. Like he's kind of like one of those in the dungeon, if you know type of barbers, you know, but he's not going to post on Instagram. Like you'll never see his work unless you see it walking around on a client.
Yeah.
But he taught me everything that I know relative to fading and cutting hair. And so from just kind of that foundation, I just kind of took that and I fell in love with the business aspect of it when I was at Texas State University getting my business degree and did that. And I just kind of married the two.
Yeah.
And so I just keep trying to push the barbering industry in a positive direction.
Yes, you do.
So that way we can just kind of have like positive reinforcement, especially with the public, you know.
Yeah.
So I just try to create a great experience for my clients, an experience that they hadn't had before through consultations and pre-consultations and intake forms and different things like that to help me do my job better.
That's right.
But to also like give you an expectation like, hey, like this guy is serious about what he does. So
that's right.
that's who I am.
Yes.
Father, husband.
Got a new baby on the way. Congratulations. I'm so happy for y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Y'all are doing well. Young couple too. Boy and a girl, it's just perfect.
It's perfect. So yes, that too. So just balancing life with business, and faith, God, all of the above. It's all well. So
is your wife still doing bridal hair?
Here and there. Like she's just more in the corporate real estate space. So
that's good.
She's an area sales manager, which is a kudos for her. She's worked her way to that point. So she's doing well with that. Like she still dabbles with hair here and there, but most of her time and energy goes to that real estate stuff. So that's what she's doing for DRB Builders.
DRB Builders, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or DRB Homes is more so what they call them, but I call them DRB Builders. But yeah.
Well, congratulations to
Thank
y'all.
you.
Y'all are doing wonderful things. Y'all are growing and evolving.
Thank
Obviously, everything, y'all are growing for sure. Family's growing.
For sure.
Then I
Still
ask
young.
you. Then I ask you where you're done, and you like, I don't know. I'm like, well, you got your pair.
I know.
Like we can have more.
But the Lord's work might not be finished.
That's right.
You know, so
I heard that.
I'm here. I'm here for the ride.
Dang, maybe I think I stopped the Lord's work. I was.
It's your choice. It's your right. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I was like, yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
And no more.
Yeah, for sure. She might be in the same boat with you.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so I can understand even if someone decide on one.
Yeah.
You know, it is, you know, physically and emotionally.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so especially when you are a committed parent.
Right.
Now, if you dabbling in and out,
right.
you know, you ain't that dedicated. It's not a lot of your energy.
In.
That's right. It's not a lot of your energy. But when you are committed, dedicated, and you're showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so that's.
So shout out to the moms.
And the
women,
dads too. The dads too.
Yeah.
They're still showing up in these spaces as well, you know. I'm like, child, that's it. I hope you're done.
Yeah.
Because Kenitra is done.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Before we get into the questions, I did want to ask you a personal question about your journey with your own hair.
Yeah.
You know, related to texturism, of course.
Right.
Have you ever had any experiences around texturism?
Not
at
really.
All? I didn't think you would.
No.
And that's why I want to have this conversation, because I'm curious to know if Black men are even experiencing texturism.
And we'll talk about it a little bit in this pod, because I'm going to kind of paint the picture in a different way.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't be labeled as texturism.
Ooh.
Yeah, it would be labeled as texturism. Yes and no.
Right.
But like I said, we can dive into it when we kind of converse a little bit. But for me and my personal journey, this is actually the longest that I've had my hair short in wavelength. I've always had like a fro of some sort. Like my entire life, I've always had a fro. Like every picture that you could look at me in from high school on down, I've always had a fro.
Oh,
always.
Wow.
So like in high school, like I was really, really big on having a flat top. So like that was my cut of choice, or what they would call a Boosie fade. So how Boosie wears his hair now is that high, it's real high and tight. That's how I wore my hair in high school. Prior to that, like early high school, like I would say like 8th grade freshman year, I was really into like having a mohawk. So
that was a mohawk era.
That was a mohawk era, like Roscoe Dash, like that was kind of the thing. So I would get the designs on both sides of my head. I would go to Target, get the Got2b glue, the gel, and I would like really kind of spike it so I could maintain some uniform shape. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that, and then prior to that, it was just kind of always having like just a fro that I kind of just shaped. So
was it a blown out fro or was it a curly fro?
Not curly. It was like blown out. Like I didn't put effort into blowing it out. I just picked it out. You know what I'm saying? So I would go to the barber, get an edge up, maybe get a taper on the back and the side, and just kind of keep it simple like that. But yeah, that's I've always had longer hair. Yeah. Always.
So what was the transition for you? Like what made you decide like I want to wear it low?
When I graduated college, I just did it then. Like I don't know. I can't even recall me telling myself, like, oh, I'm tired of having a fro. Like, I think I just cut my hair off, and that's just what it was. Like, it was not for any particular reason. I think it was just a change that I did, and I just never went back to having longer hair.
Yeah.
And I think, like, having shorter hair now because I cut my own hair, I've always cut my own hair. But having shorter hair is easier for me to cut on myself.
Gotcha.
So I think, like, just kind of going through that process of, like, maintaining a shorter look, that's, like, way easier for me than trying to have a fro and trying to, like, that's a whole nother assignment that I hadn't even really dabbled in like that. So yeah.
I was trying to tell my son that because he cut his locks.
He did.
And I said, well, you know this is more maintenance because you want to grow it out.
Yeah.
You know, he just wanted loose and long now.
Right.
And he wear mostly like a picked out fro.
Right.
Sometimes
does he sponge it at all?
Yeah, sometimes we'll sponge it. Yep. Sometimes we'll even define the curls. It just depends, you know. Yeah. But he's seeing that it's more work now. I said, I told you. I was like, you should have just held on to them locks. I know. You know.
And that's what I tell moms with sons. Like they kind of have this dream. I even tell my wife this. But like they have this dream for their son's hair like this. The texture for their hair. Like they want it to be natural to them. Which I'm all for. But I'm like, that is a lot of work. And I even tell my wife this. I'm like, we got to cut our son's hair. Like,
Yes.
if you ain't willing to do it every day, because for one, I'm not going to do it. I'm just,
especially with you being a
I'm
barber,
not
like I can
doing
just
it.
take
Like,
clippers to it and cut it off.
I mean, but I don't want him to look like Little Bill, you know, like they don't want the, and I'm like, man, the boy got to go, he got to go through a process, right? Yeah, don't want him looking like Little Bill.
Said, what Little Bill? No, we don't want no Little Bills.
But
we love Little Bill, though.
I know. But the thing is, as men,
yeah,
we consider it character cuts. So it builds character within the young man as he grows.
That's right.
To like have a low maintenance hairstyle, and when he reaches the level of maturity to take care of his hair,
then
do it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with mama taking care of his hair.
Yeah.
But the hair is really a father and a son thing.
It sure is.
So
I even love to see the fathers bringing the sons to the barbershop, not the
100%.
moms.
Yeah. So I think like that's kind of what I try to promote. Like, hey, like cut his hair low, because we know little boys don't like bathing. You know, like they just go through a phase where like hygiene
they don't
and
care
appearance
about it.
is just not, it's not there.
What makes them start caring about it?
You know, yeah, like, so they don't care about that. And then we get into, you know, the process of actually, washing the hair. And then, of course, when the hair is longer, it takes longer to dry. Like, so now you're getting into these long processes.
Yeah.
And I try to tell my wife, especially with her being a mother and then having like this intensive career path, like I try to tell her, whether she listens to me or not is another conversation. But what I try to advise her on is the idea of like, make life simple.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this little boy, like, don't let that be another burden that you have to work. You know, and so we had a family debate over Christmas with my family about, do we think we should cut his hair or not? And it was 4-3 that we should cut his hair.
What was 4?
That we should cut it.
Okay.
So 4 out of 3 said that not 4 out of 3, 4 out of 7 said that we should cut it.
4 out of 7.
4 out of 7. Yeah. So we won, and it was really the men that was like, especially when his father's a professional barber.
4 out of 7. The 4. Got you. Because when you said 4 out of,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you now. Out of 7 people.
Out of 7 people, 4
and 3 said
no.
Yeah,
correct.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
I'm a letters person. I hate numbers. I love letters. I like words. I hate numbers.
Yeah. So, you know, it was 3 men, including myself, and then it was my mom that had voted that we should cut his hair as well.
Of course, mom did.
And then my dad was like a non-present vote, but he would have voted to cut his hair as well. So that really, it was like 5.
Yeah.
5-3.
Most are going to vote.
Yeah.
You know, so he still has his baby hair, like that Velus hair.
He has like in the front line.
He's never had a haircut, right?
Never had a haircut. Like he has like a textured fro, literally.
Yeah, it's about time then.
A more natural fro, let me say, not texture fro, more of a more natural flow.
Gotcha.
Fro, I'm tripping. I'm just jumbling all over.
We're following. But I just love the first haircut.
Yeah.
You know, I think they all should experience at a very young age, you know, the first haircut. My son's first haircut, I didn't go.
You didn't go?
No, absolutely not. His daddy took him. And when they came back, he was so pink and red and flustered, and he couldn't get a nice little even fade because he was acting up.
Yeah.
It was
just
so bad.
But I mean, that's even, I always tell dads to like just kind of start bringing your sons to the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Or even, you know, with the moms
bald,
as well.
So he wasn't coming to the shop. But he was thinking, if I'm pulling out my clippers and, shaving my head and he's right here, he would at least be, you know, used to the sound.
Okay.
No,
so that was a little bit more of a dilemma then. With your husband being bald, so he wasn't even going to the barbershop. Like, he wouldn't get any beard work or anything done.
No, he
everything at the house.
Because he was in the military.
Yeah.
So that's all off.
Yeah.
You know, he's just shaving it all off, leaving a little mustache, and then he was bald. So, it didn't work out, you know, for our son.
Yeah.
Because
not
he
his
had
first
no
round.
hair. Yeah, not the second or the third.
Oh, Lord. It took a couple trials?
It did. It was a trial and error thing. It took about, I don't think, the first time he did not cry, we had moved to Virginia.
Okay.
And he had just turned 2.
Okay.
But we didn't get a lot of haircuts in between because he was just so stressed out.
Yeah.
So we just like, it's all good. I'll just figure out how to braid this stuff up.
Yeah.
Which he would sit there for the braids. I think it was the clippers. Yeah. That he was really scared
more
of.
times than not, that like it's just that sound, especially coming close to the ear.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, how do ideas of good hair versus bad hair show up for Black men? Is
Yeah,
it a thing?
right.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a thing for women. Really for women.
Yeah.
But I also think too, that's really a conversation that is just not that's just in the Black community that has kind of become a theme that I honestly think we should avoid. You
You think
know,
we should avoid the
good hair,
conversations?
I think we should avoid labeling the good hair versus bad hair.
Okay.
Because for one, you have no control over that.
That's right.
So, I mean, what are we talking about? Like,
But you know it's a thing, though.
it is a thing.
It is a
It is a
thing.
thing. But I don't see it talked about as much with men as I do with women. And I think women are more sensitive to it than men are. Yeah, I think.
What about when a Black man is looking at a Black woman's hair?
Yes.
That's different.
100%.
Uh-huh.
100%.
So
yes. But that's what I'm saying. But do women look at Black men and do the good hair versus bad hair thing?
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But whenever a Black man does it, how is it perceived? How is it perceived? Like, are y'all looking at, Black women like, oh, she has the good hair. She has the bad hair. Come on.
Okay. So look, I would, the answer to that question, I would say yes. I would say yes. I think that's fair. That's fair and factual.
Okay. I mean, we do it to each other as Black women, unfortunately,
Okay, so I know that you've kind of been talking about this over the last couple of episodes with other hairstylists and those that kind of specialize. So just for the sake of this episode, and even for those that are in my audience that may be listening to this, define texturism.
Texturism is really closely linked to racism, just on a texture,
Right, relative to the hair.
That's right. So we tend to look at curls that are looser and make those more ideal. And then the curls that are tighter.
Right. And kinkier.
Or kinkier.
Right.
Yeah, those are not so ideal.
Right.
Right. So that's what texturism is. Instead of accepting hair that is just hair.
Right. It's just hair.
It's just hair.
You can't, I mean, biologically, you can't do anything. You can't control that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And instead, we do create these biases, this racism towards it. It's literally a racism
for hair.
For hair, literally,
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, we experience it.
Yeah.
It is a part of our journey.
Yeah.
I did grow up in the South, in Louisiana.
Yeah.
We didn't have these conversations a lot in our house, but I did hear them outside
like
of
at
our
school
house.
and stuff like
That's
that.
That's right. Like, oh, she has the good hair,
Right.
Her hair nappy, or even his hair nappy.
And nappy is like, that's one of those kind of terms, which I think that if you can be a person that like understands, like when we say nappy, sometimes it can be in jest.
It can.
Like it can, we're just talking, like it's just kind of linguistically African-American vernacular English, like just being nappy. But context always matters.
That's right. It does.
So when we say nappy, we could be saying it jokingly, like basically
even in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah,
like, we could.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just go comb your hair. Go do something with it.
Right.
As opposed to walking around looking a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Like you let yourself go. But I think again, that's within context.
It is.
And it can be used out of context, which goes back to the texturism point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Jamaica, nappy means happy.
Yes.
So
that's why the context matters.
That's why you say the context matters. So, but we know over here that, mostly, especially related to hair and not related to you as a Black person, it can be very derogatory.
It can be.
It
can be.
And so that's how I define texturism in so many ways. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Were deuce and S curls functioning as more than just hairstyles for Black men during that time?
I would say no. Like, they were strictly socially acceptable hairstyles at the time. Okay. And it's kind of like, for lack of a better term, it's kind of monkey see, monkey do. Like, and I think that's kind of cultural.
Yes.
Like, you take on what your culture accepts. And so what our culture was accepting at the time, especially for Black men, was that style. I think from the 70s going into the 80s, it was very Jerry curl, S curl, Duke type of hairstyles with
length.
The length.
Yeah.
Yes, length. Stiletto wearing men.
What do you mean by
like
that?
Men that were wearing like the heels, like the
got you. Yeah, like
is this
like the claws and
yeah, is
like
it
the platforms.
the platform, not stilettos.
Yeah.
Like the platform type of shoes. Excuse me, not the platforms. I misspoke on that.
Yeah.
Not the stilettos, but more so the platforms where they were doing that. They were wearing like the really ruffled bottoms relative to style.
Right.
Where today we may look at that as like kind of being feminine.
Yes.
But at that time,
it was very masculine.
It was very masculine.
It sure was.
You know what I'm saying? It was very masculine. But I think that combination of style, clothing with hair, it created a combination. So now when you get from the 70s to the 80s, you lose the outfits and you're just more so with the hairstyles.
That's right.
Especially like when you get closer to the West Coast, which for the conversation of this podcast, I want to use like NWA as an example. As a case study.
Yes,
like,
come on.
Where you get more of like the Reebok wearing, I mean, you can even go to East Coast rappers. They were doing fairly much the same thing. You get the Reeboks, you get the Adidas sweatsuits, but they still had
the hair.
They still had the hair. And so I think that's a transitional period where you see Black men going from the platforms and the loose-fitting attire, you know, ruffled bottoms, ruffled wristwear.
Bell bottoms,
Bell
too.
bottoms. That's what see, thank you for clearing it up.
Bottoms.
Yes,
but
bell bottoms.
You're describing it.
Yes.
I'm just coming in.
Yes.
You know, behind
so
you.
yes, bell bottoms. You go from that to like more tight-fitting clothing relative to the jumpsuits. Because that would be considered tight in comparison to what the men in the 70s were wearing.
That's right.
So you have like the jumpsuits, you have the track wear, the track
like that windsuit,
you know, windbreakers.
Yeah, windbreakers. That's what it's called.
Yes. But they still had the hair. And not only did they have the hair, but in the 70s, the men just wore the hair. Like they just had the hair. No head garment.
Yeah.
You get into the 80s, they started wearing hats.
Yep, the caps.
They had the caps where there was a Kango.
Yeah.
Run DMC, even though Run DMC himself was bald. Or
what's his name?
Not Uncle Russ, the brother.
I can't think of it right now, but I know what you're and everybody else knows too.
Yes. But he was bald. But nonetheless, they would wear the Kango. A lot of them would wear the ball caps too.
Right.
So that's when you start kind of getting to the East versus West type of how they looked alike. You know, I think more East Coast, they were wearing more Kangos.
Yes.
Hats and caps.
They were.
West, they were actually wearing ball caps.
That's
baseball, you know,
with the
LA Dodgers, whatever it was, type of fits.
Yeah.
And so I think from the 70s to the 80s, you see that transition of
you did.
style generally, but the hair still remained.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't phased out of the hair yet.
That's right.
And so yeah, that's kind of where.
Then you get into the 90s.
Yes.
And then it's all about the Dukes and the S curls, but keeping it low.
Keeping it low.
Yeah.
To where it's like, because like you said, in the 70s, it was longer.
That's right.
So I feel like it kind of went from long, medium to short.
It did. It did.
Over you could kind of say a 30-year period.
Yeah.
From if you want to start from the 70s.
It ended at the end of the 90s. Yeah, 30-year period of
So I think it was a 30-year period of long. Like we go let it flow and we go let it show.
Right.
To like, okay, we go kind of maybe cut it in half. You know, in the 80s to where in the 90s when you get to like the late 80s, well, I would say like 88 to like maybe like 92.
Yes. Yep. By 92.
It was like very short, but like you could just see just the bottom of it below the brim of the hat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Depending on how they wore the hat.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know my brother, he did have like a kinkier curl to the point where it rolled up.
Okay.
It did. It did. And we, unfortunately, I'm not proud to say this, but I'm going to say it. We made fun of him. And we did call his hair nappy.
Okay.
But my grandmother quickly corrected us. I think I was about 8 or 9. And she was like, his hair is not nappy. His curls are just much tighter than y'all's.
Right.
And that's what y'all don't understand. You know, and so she's like, if you brush his hair, you will see that.
Yeah.
And so she was like, we just have to keep up with his a little more. Like we got in trouble for that, you know, so we quickly.
Salute to Granny.
Absolutely.
Salute to her.
You know, we quickly unlearned that texturism right then and there, you know. And it even opened my mind up more, you know, whenever she did correct us for making fun of him. But I had another cousin who was processing his hair chemically at the time with Dukes.
Yeah.
And he said, ain't nothing wrong with his hair. All we got to do is run down Walmart, get him a Duke, slap it in there, and I'll teach him how to get some waves. You know, not even understanding you can create waves with his texture, you know, then and there.
I mean, it takes some work.
It takes some work. That was a shortcut. That was you know, chemically processing it was a shortcut, right? And so, and that's what he did. And he literally dedicated his time to making, and my cousin is actually in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually dedicated his time to make sure that his hair got those waves that my brother wanted. And he did, you know. He actually taught him how to take care of his hair.
Okay.
You know, shout out to DK. He did it, you know. So we did experience some texturism within, you know, our
own household.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, we having this conversation, it's coming back from me. And yeah, only towards him though. You know, only towards him because he was the one with the kinkiest hair, you know, out of all of us. Yeah. And I just wanted to share that, you know, I do know somebody that did experience it. You know, he was, if I was like 9 at the time, he was like 2.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
Not saying that he remember it, don't remember it, but, you know, I don't know if it did affect him. But we're talking about putting a chemical processor in his hair at the age of 2 when we should have just worked with his hair, you know. And I know someone who faithfully got him. Like I'm talking about like how we would get relaxers back in the day.
Yeah.
But he would send his friend inside Walmart to get the processor because he didn't want people to see him getting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was very, you know, that was intriguing to me.
Was his friend black?
Yeah.
Okay.
His friend didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, he walked right in there.
He cared more than his friend did.
Yeah. Yeah. But his friend wasn't chemically processing his hair.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I do know some have experienced it to a point where they are a little ashamed of whatever texture it is that they are born with, you know, to where, you know, some use it for style, some use it as like an era, a movement, just wanted to be a part of the culture more deeply. And then some did it because they were ashamed of their texture, you know. So I was just curious, you never had that before?
Not personally.
You're
no.
so lucky.
I know.
What about anyone that has ever talked to you about it?
I hadn't had that experience. Not with like, and
That's
I have
really good.
Yeah, I have asked clients about it.
Where did you grow up?
In the Houston area.
In Houston. That's way different from Southern Louisiana. Yeah. So y'all probably, you know, if anything, y'all were more together.
Yeah.
You know, not against, you know. Yeah. And everyone's experience is going to be different depending on where you come from.
Like the region.
That's right. Yeah.
It's definitely regional.
That's right. That's good, though. I'm glad to hear someone didn't, you know, experience it.
And I was very, very Afrocentric with my hair. Like, I never cut it. Like I said, I may have, I think in my life, where I am now and then when I was younger, like I had maybe 3 times where I had like my hair cut low. But more times than not.
You had a fro.
I had a fro.
Yeah.
More times.
What do you think about wearing a fro today as a black man at your age? If you wore it picked out with a pick, how do you think people would perceive you? Anybody.
I know. That's a good question. I mean, I think
without even knowing you, just you walking in a building, you have a fro and a pick. Because back in the 70s, that was a part of our culture.
Like you black and you probably don't care.
Right.
You know, that's probably I mean, and it's not just with the fro, but it's like even like if you like wear your dreads like unkept. You know, like if you're not getting like a fresh retwist and like you literally just like wear your hair like
just like J. Cole.
Just like J. Cole. One of my friends, Marquise, he wears his hair similar to Jay-Z, but it's longer. And it's kind of like
it's almost like those Florida locks, like how the Florida people are locking their hair.
Some people will consider them matted together.
They do. They take the locks and they mat them together and have like 5 or 6 locks. Yeah.
So his hair is like that, but he's in education though. He's in education,
and it's still okay. Okay,
like he's himself. Like he doesn't. subscribe to the systemic barriers or issues that will potentially poise them or position themselves to be in front of him.
Yeah.
You know, so for him, I think he is who he is.
Yeah.
He's been wearing his hair like that for years. Like I'd probably like say maybe 8 years.
8 years? That's a long time.
It's a very long time.
Yeah, okay.
Even with his beard, like he doesn't get his beard groomed. Like it grows how it grows.
Oh, wow.
Like
I love that
he's very,
for him.
very very, very natural.
Yeah.
He no trims, no edge ups, like none of that. Like
Where does he live?
He lives in Houston.
Houston, yeah. I think it depends on where you live,
I think so too.
You know, how you can be
so
unintentionally perceived.
Yeah.
I do know the Black Panther movement, the hair was froed out.
Correct, which that was going to be one of my other case studies to the questions that you were asking. Like,
yeah, so let's not start. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's move to the next question. Okay, because I'm sure whatever you say, I'll be able to say what I was going to say. So let's just move on. Okay. All right. At the root, do you think Black men and Black women were responding to the same message about texture? At the root.
I think, again, I would say no.
Okay.
I think at the root, no.
What is the root for you?
Like, what is the societal standard?
Okay.
You know, I think that's the root.
That's the root.
Especially for like Black people living in America where everything is kind of gauged by our counterparts. Like they kind of are the standard of like what is acceptable or like what is deemed as acceptable.
Right.
You know, hair, clothing. I mean, we bring babies into this world where they have to measure up to a percentile.
Right.
Where our counterparts are the standard for those percentiles. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So
it's not fair.
It's not fair.
That's right.
Because not all babies are created equally.
That's right.
So
especially when it comes to health.
You know, we're born into, okay, this is the comparative conversation of standard that we have to have. And they can't say a word. They don't even know that they're here yet.
That's right.
And they're born into that. So I think that's the root. And again, this is just my opinion from what I know. I don't know everything. So let me just, so I'm always open to being challenged and hearing other people's perspective if my analysis of the root is wrong.
I don't think it's wrong. I think it's whatever your experience is.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be the root for you.
Yeah.
You know, we could talk about the root. We can take it all the way back to Africa if we're going to talk about the root.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on where the root is for you.
Yeah.
And then that's when we come up with all these different perspectives and we put them together and they all collectively marry together.
Do you think that the root is the same for Black men and Black women? Like relative to the texturism and just kind of going through their change?
Yeah, in some ways I do. But it's just because now with your root, I don't. But with my root, I do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of back in Africa, you know, when we were slaves and just the oppression.
Yeah.
And I believe eventually we branched away from the ideal of what the root for each other is.
Right.
But the oppression of not being able to celebrate our hair no matter what the texture is for a Black woman, a Black man, in some ways I think it is the same, just from there.
Yeah. And I think like even for men, I think men, especially Black men, the Black community, one of the Black community's greatest influence for me, I think for men and women, is music.
Right.
And so I think that once Black men started wearing their hair, you know, do S curl, Jerry curl, like just kind of that era.
Yeah.
I think like music is the one way to influence the Black community.
It is.
Now that's a root of going back to Africa. Like that's just how strong music is for our culture.
That's right.
Like really no matter the genre or the style of music is like in our DNA. Like that's who we are. Like rhythms. Like that's who we are.
Yeah.
And so I think that those that have always had a voice in music kind of set that tone for like, like a Rick James or somebody like that.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
and they kind of set that tone for what the style is going to be. And I think that for the most part, Black men, and you can speak to it for Black women, kind of followed suit, like with what was trending at the time.
Black women follow,
Okay.
trends as well.
Yeah.
We do. Like the 90s was the relaxer era. We were all relaxing our hair.
Yeah.
In the 80s, we were more, it was like in between. We were still wearing it naturally, froed out from the 70s, but we also still pressing it, making it straight, just not chemically altering it.
Right.
I feel like that picked up more like in the mid 80s than into the 90s, because I know like Salt and Pepper had straight hair, and that was definitely chemically processed. And eventually now we're all doing natural.
Yeah.
So I believe we tend to follow, as well, but it's just in a different way from Black men,
Yeah.
When y'all were doing the Jerry curls, we were doing them too, but it's just wearing it different. But but mostly I know in the 80s we were doing mohawks. Both of us was on the same pathway then. We were wearing the mohawks where it didn't look like a mohawk, or not a mohawk. I'm sorry, it's the shag.
Yes.
Like that shag.
Yes.
What is it called? I know it's a shag, but what else did we call it before it was a shag? I don't know, but the short at the top, long in the back. And that was a Jerry curl hairstyle. And then they evolved that into the relaxer, where it was, get the relaxer and you curl it at the top, and then you leave the bottom, just with a little bevel.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a skill to do, by the way. Because
I would never be able to cut a haircut like that, where it's a pixie at the top and then it's long in the back.
Right. Yeah.
And then it still look good.
I know. I know.
So in many ways, I think similar, and this would be a round table discussion.
Sure.
More than
Because like you said, like you have
anything.
to bring everybody's experiences.
You do, and from different eras, as well, in order to get the meat and the potatoes of it. So in some ways, I believe we do, and in a lot of ways, I believe we don't. I believe we're more vocal about our hair experiences and the trauma that's revolved around it, and we are more vulnerable than I believe Black men are, or maybe Black men don't care enough. That's not their thing,
Yeah. And again, I think that Black men don't care. Like they don't. They're not as sensitive and concerned about it as Black women are.
Right.
I think that's kind of the polar opposite. But again. Let's keep going, because we'll get into that part in a minute.
Let's keep going. Okay.
Yeah. We'll get into that part in a minute.
What did having a certain texture signal socially back then for Black men?
It signals style. I think so. I think it signals style.
Mostly, right?
Mostly, yeah. For men.
Especially when you think about Bobby Brown.
I know.
That accident Gumby haircut. But it was like a thing. And then Black men started rocking it.
Yeah.
And I think even he had a chemical process.
He did.
That take me back to the story that I told you about, the guy that would have his friend to go into Walmart, right? Okay. We can obviously tell there's a chemical that has processed his hair, right?
Right.
So why do you think he was scared to go get the processor himself?
I know. I can't speak on that. Like, I think it's funny.
What do you think, though? What do you think? Even though it may not be true to his feeling.
I don't know. Because like you said, we would know.
Yeah.
But he's scared to go in the store and get it?
I guess it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I've always went in the store and got my little relaxers and stuff like that.
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I'm
especially when we know you have a process. I know. It's obvious.
It's obvious, yeah. So
our
what are you
natural
afraid
texture looks way different.
It's not that. It ain't straight. Like it's not
with the little wave.
It's not. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all right. Back to what we was talking. So you said more about style.
Yes.
I brought up the Bobby Brown.
The Bobby Brown, like that. Like in the 90s, I was actually watching a video on YouTube. It actually went back, and this was before you had even asked me to come. This was probably like 2 or 3 months ago. But it just so happened to come across my YouTube feed.
Okay.
And it was talking about styles at that time. And to get that Bobby Brown hairstyle with the design in the back, In Atlanta, Georgia, they was charging $40 for that hairstyle in the 90s.
Excuse me,
$40. $40.
And they're mad to pay $40 today for anything.
I know.
And we're talking about the 90s. We're in 2026.
Listen, the crazy part is they were going there because they wanted to be stylish.
That's it.
So they didn't like the $40. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But this is what I want.
That's right.
And nowadays, men, they want a certain look, but they don't want to pay for it.
Nobody want to pay. They ain't just the men. It's the women too. No one wants to pay for these certain looks, and they're evolving.
Yeah, they're changing quickly.
And if you're not evolving with the times, you're gonna get left behind. And I don't think they understand the extensive education that we have to go through to pay for these classes. These classes are not cheap.
I know.
In order to keep them with the latest trends. So
and if you're not taking classes, the amount of mistakes that you make to master the particular thing that is in style.
That's right.
Because some people don't take classes; they just practice, or they just trial and error, like whatever it is.
Yeah,
like
that's
right. So
winging it.
Yeah. But again, like I think too, like you have to pay for that experience and that expertise as well.
That's right.
Like if I made many mistakes to get this right. Like somebody had to be the recipient of my bad product.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. My bad skill.
And some people are just naturally self-taught. I can look at it and figure it out.
Give me 2 or 3 tries and I got it.
Yep.
But again, you have to pay for that.
You sure do.
Because that's a God-given gift.
That's right.
That wasn't free.
No,
that wasn't
not
free,
at all. So what do you think Al Sharpton was doing it for?
Oh, Lord. You threw me for a loop on that one. Not Al Sharpton.
Do you remember he had his slick back? It was salt and pepper. He would have the roller. Like it looked like he was. I think he was using rollers to set it at night and then comb it out.
Well, was not Bobby Brown, was what about James Brown? Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because those two, James Brown was the reason why he did that.
I know.
So they was going to see the president at the time, and James Brown told him, "You have to, do something about that hair.
I know.
You got to straighten that hair." He was like, because when he said, no, this was actually a comedian that said this, but what James Brown was trying to help him understand was when your hair is relaxed, they are relaxed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
He was like, so he was like, we're going up here to handle some business, so you have to straighten your hair.
There goes your answer. That's your answer.
That's the answer, right?
That's your answer. When your hair is relaxed, they are relaxed. That's 100% fact.
Yeah, it is.
And
he told him at that time, basically you need to relax your hair.
Yeah.
And he just talked about the experience.
Yeah.
So.
Which I think that goes into what you were saying about the Black Panthers. Like that afro combed out, perfectly sculpted, Black power, like that.
And it's intimidating.
That's very militant for Black people, at least. Now, keep in mind, you can make anything look militant. It's just about how it's perceived. Because in the same way as the Black Panther Party was like that, at the same time, the Nation of Islam was completely different.
Oh.
The Nation of Islam didn't wear fros. They were very clean cut.
Oh,
but they wore suits with the bow ties. That was militant. And they walked in formation. They sit in rows. It was the aura. So you can argue and say that like not even the fro is really what makes it militant.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Because
it came with the movement.
It came with the movement. But those are two groups at the time, right, that are at the height of the civil rights movement.
Yes.
The Nation of Islam was very, very pivotal with the civil rights movement. With bringing Black men back into the home.
Yes.
Junkies and addicts, bringing them back into a community where they can have an accountability system.
Yeah, for sure.
And they can get back to what the Nation of Islam will consider the kind of the original religion, if you will. But again, the Nation of Islam, they have rules that if you're in the Nation of Islam, you can't wear a beard.
Yeah.
You can make a beard look militant if you want it to be.
That's right.
Because the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, like all of them, they wore beards. Like the Vikings, they were known for their beards.
Yeah.
That's militant. So again, everything is based on perception.
It sure is.
It's not a matter on if a Black person is doing it. I mean, it is, but it's not. But it's about how you perceive it. It's about how society chooses to perceive it.
Yeah. Which we have no control over.
So you have the Black Panther Party, froed out, all black, you know, very kind of strong demeanor relative to how the hairstyle is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Nation of Islam, no beard.
Clean cut.
Like maybe a part. That's like probably the most leeway that they give you.
If they give you that much leeway.
But other than that, it's like real low, like ball fade, you know.
But still perceived.
Mustache at most.
Yeah.
You know, no chin hair. I mean, even the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who's the head of the Nation of Islam.
He had a part.
He did.
He had a part.
Which is why I said that's kind of this where they kind of gave you a little leeway. Because even the NOI men today, some of them wear like a hard part. But the way that Minister Farrakhan's hair is, his hair is kind of natural. I would assume it's naturally wavy.
Right.
I don't know if he chemically
that's a process or not. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know about that. But when you always look at his hair always has like that good wave. See? There I go. See, I'm violating everything that we talking about. I said the good wave. But you just kind of see that bump in it.
Yeah.
You know, and then he has the hard part. And it's very cut and clean on the sides.
That's
you know, like that's just how his hair always looks.
Yeah, it sure does. But it doesn't matter. You caught yourself.
I did.
You caught yourself.
Awareness.
That's right. It matters. I just think I've done it too.
Yeah.
You know, more times than I would like to admit. You know, I'm also unlearning as I'm inviting people on the show. You know, that's the whole point of the season.
That's the benefit of awareness.
It is. Because some people don't know. You don't know it.
But when someone makes you aware of it, which being on this podcast with you is making me aware of it, and even preparing for this podcast started making me aware to the point where now, as I just said it, I'm able to correct it on the spot. Now, that doesn't mean I won't say it again.
You have to practice.
You have to practice it. And like I didn't intentionally just say that just now.
Not
like
at all.
That just kind of rolled off my tongue, you know?
And I think that can be perceived in a lot of different ways. Yeah. I mean, it was literally perfected. Yeah. Like his waves were. You know, they had a nice little ripple.
I know, like it was a nice
consistent,
ripple. I know, every time.
So good can be perceived however someone receives it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, so I was just using that example to show that everything is about perception. Everything is about appearance and what you choose to label it as. And you have to keep in mind, like, we didn't label either one of those case studies that I just provided relative to the Black Panther Party or the Nation of Islam.
No, absolutely
we didn't label any one of those two.
Nope.
Those labels came from outside perceivers.
That's right. Not understanding what the movement was about or not wanting to understand what it was about. Because it was a positive movement. Whether they were walking around with guns, that was for protection.
I know.
You know, that was not to harm anybody.
Right.
And I believe the whole collective of just seeing the outside and not trying to understand the message.
Right. Because if it was all about the fro for Black power, which the Nation of Islam and the Black Panther Party, why did the Nation of Islam adopt that? Because it wasn't about that.
That's right.
It wasn't about that. And the Nation of Islam was not succumbing to like, this is what makes society comfortable or happy. They weren't subscribing to that idea either. It was their own individual collective identity.
That's right.
Simple. Like, so it had nothing to do with the hair, really.
No, it did not. It had nothing to do with
it. It had everything to do with that individual vision and mission.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I don't think it was good or bad.
I don't either. I don't think it was good or bad. It's just all about...
It's what they wanted.
That's right.
It's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we should all view hair. Like, however a person chooses to wear their hair, like, it's not good or bad. Like, that's how, to the debate of texturism, like, that's how they wear their hair.
Yeah,
that's how their hair is. Like,
I think it was all about unity. You know, just wanting to be uniform.
A unified front, right.
Yeah, uniform. Like, we're going to wear our black. This is how we're going to wear our hair. You know, I think it was for aesthetic reasons to know that I belong to something. I don't think it had anything to do with anything outside of that, you know. And that's pretty much it. No different from when I was on the cheerleading squad, we had to wear our hair a certain way. You know, just
like as a team.
As a team.
No matter what your hair was, this is what we have to do.
This is what we have to do. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, I don't know if that's fortunately, I'm not going to use that word. I know when I was on the squad, we mostly had straight hair.
Okay.
You know, so however the sponsor requested us to wear our hair, it was easy for us to do.
Sure.
Now today that would be very challenging because I did have a client who has naturally curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
She's biracial and she was forced to straighten her hair in order to be in unity with these girls. So when I said fortunately, it was kind of like, well, I didn't have to go through that, but still that's not fortunate because why would that be fortunate just because you altered your hair differently so you were able to move through it easier opposed to her who was coming to me to get it straightened, who was coming to me to wear wigs, get wigs done just because they told her she had to wear her hair straight in order to be in unity.
Based on that uniformity that you speak about, I think that's like with the latest administration, Trump being in office and like him assigning new military personnel to be over the military. I think that's what the big rift is because it's going back to, yes, we want to be uniform, but up under Biden, Black men didn't have to shave.
Right.
Which is that's still texturism, except it's just on the face.
It is. But,
right.
You know,
because when you shave the hair, our skin responds a lot more aggressively than counterparts.
That's right.
So to make everyone conform to that one standard, whereas I'm not saying that, let's just say for white men, for instance, I'm not saying that they don't have skin responses to shaving because some may, but the percentage is much lower than it is for Black men.
That's right.
Where Black men literally could go to the doctor and get a prescription or I don't know how they would call it in military terms.
It's called, oh gosh, and I'm a veteran, y'all.
Yeah.
Is it a waiver? I think it's a waiver.
Yeah, it's like a waiver that you could give to say like, hey, like, because it is a scientific term for Black men that get these hair bumps that we would call it in the Black community amongst other men, like you don't want that Nestle Crunch. Like,
oh, Nestle Crunch.
You don't want like that Nestle Crunch look on your face because you shaved. Because, for instance, my uncle and my father-in-law, both of them are bald, but they can't use the same razor.
Right.
So my uncle can use a 3-blade, but my father-in-law has to use a 5-blade. A 3-blade makes him bump up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And some people, they can't use a blade at all.
That's right.
So like, you know, but it's in comparison to the story about your client who's biracial, like her hair is naturally curly, but she's kind of forced to come to you to get it straightened or whatever. And for someone else, it's easy because the hair's already straight. But for her, she has to go through all of these hoops and spend time and money that other people don't have to spend to conform.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and that's the tragic part because we're really not accepting people
for who they are.
For who they are with something that they don't have control over. That they don't have control over.
At all.
You know, because you have to think too, back in the day, like, we've always had a beauty standard. Like, grooming has always been a part of history, which makes barbers and those that are in cosmetology essential to mankind. Like, we've always had a part in society, even before modern medicine.
That's right.
Before modern, you know, doctors and things that, like, we had an essential role in society. Now, of course, it looked different then than it does now.
Right.
But the point that I'm making is we've always been in the business of appearance.
Right.
And making something look a certain way. Or, you know, like you said, like just kind of altering an appearance for, you know, whatever reason. So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Also, when you brought up about the beards and, you know, shaving and you having to use a different type of razor, X, Y, and Z, the reason why I would say, you know, I would say people with straighter textures too, you know, it comes straight out the face.
I know.
Unlike ours, it coils out.
I know.
And then it coils back into the skin.
That's where you get the bumps from.
And that's when you have
hair bumps.
Exactly. And then you have hair bumps.
Yep.
And then that's where all this, what you call it, a Nestle Crunch?
The Nestle Crunch.
The Nestle Crunch. That's how
Ask
sure
your husband
that
if he's heard that.
Yeah, that's how
like,
that happens.
It's because it comes like when you shave improperly in your face, like, and it doesn't take any time for those bumps to come. They can come within hours of shaving. It doesn't take a full business day. Like,
right.
It can come 4 or 5. Like, I did that one time when in the barbering industry, they just started coming out with foil shavers. Right. They started coming out with foil shavers probably about 10 years ago, maybe less. But when the foil shavers started coming out, I went and got one. Right. And they was like, oh, like it gets like super close to ball, cool like that. So I go and I cut my hair, and like the part where I did my taper fade, I use that foil shaver to just get it like really, really smooth.
Bumped up.
5-6 hours later, like I'm talking about like just little bumps all over the back of my neck.
Oh my God.
So I had like itching, all of that stuff, you know. I can't use a foil shaver.
Right.
So if I go to a barber, for instance, although I cut my own hair, but I'm
Right.
just saying, like, if I go to a barber, I have to let them know, hey, I can't take the
do
foil.
that.
I can't
That's
use the
right.
foil shaver because my skin cannot take that.
That's right.
So when you talk about shaving standards and grooming standards, like, there's not a one size fits all. There's not a one, and that's one reason why I personally would never go to the military.
Yeah.
Because like
You're being disregarded.
You're being disregarded.
That's right.
Like, I've had a beard for as long as I could grow it. I've always had facial hair. Like, when I started growing facial hair, like, I've groomed my facial hair. I don't care if it was just my mustache and my chin hair.
You're like, I don't care.
I'm gonna line it up, but like, I've never been baby faced prior to me growing facial hair, you know? And so like, for someone to ask me to cut my beard off, like, that's part of who I am.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
that's my attachment to self. And so, which is why I never joined a fraternity in college.
Oh yeah,
I'm not shaving my hair.
Phase,
you know, like,
you gotta
I'm
let
not shaving.
go.
I'm not shaving my hair, or I'm not shaving my. I'm not like. There are some things that I don't compromise on.
That's
and
right.
when it comes to my hair, when it comes to my beard and my facial hair, I don't compromise on that.
Yeah, good for you. Don't.
Let me use another example. I have clients. Client who's bald, he has a beard. His beard can grow, like, it can be really like Rick Ross like, although he does not like for people to compare him to Rick Ross. But that's just to paint a picture of how his beard can be.
That's
right?
thick.
His beard can be really, really thick. But he's in corporate America. He always has a joke. He said, once a month, I have to like cut his beard down. Not to the face, but like I have to sculpt it enough to where it's like really, really low. Because he says, if not, I'm gonna have to subpoena you. Meaning that he's going to have to subpoena me to court to testify that he comes and gets his beard groomed every week. And he comes to me every week.
Because it grows so fast.
And he's a big and tall guy, black guy. Shops in the big and tall section. Like, he looks like he's played in the NFL. So he's already intimidating, like, by the looks.
Unfortunately.
Right. And he knows that. He says that. Like, he doesn't run from that. Like, he knows that he has to carry himself a certain way to kind of keep the people relaxed and not like, who's this big bodyguard walking around? Because like I said, he looks like when I first met him, I thought he played in the NFL.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Big and tall guy. He's very big. Has a beard though, and he always like, hey, it's that time to cut it down. Like, otherwise, I'm gonna subpoena you, and you have to come testify that you take care of me every week.
Oh,
you
know,
because that's the standard in corporate America. Like, he has to look a certain way.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was to the point that you were making about texturism, where I said for men, it's a little different. Because although men are not sensitive to the texturism in the way that you're describing it, they are sensitive and aware of how their appearance matters depending on who they're around. I have a client, I won't name him or the company that he works for. Works for a very, very big company in Austin, Texas. If not the biggest company in Austin, Texas. And
you saying a lot without saying a lot.
Right. So he works for this company, black guy, and he's a manager. And all of his other managing partners are white men. And he has a low haircut like me. You know that our hair grows faster than our counterparts, meaning that we have to get haircuts more frequently.
Okay.
That's natural. Like, if a black man does not get a haircut frequently, you will know.
Absolutely.
If a white man does not get a haircut frequently, you will not know. Because like that's, their hair is way different. How it grows and how it looks as it grows.
That's right.
Our hair, when it grows, it can look disheveled if you don't get it tamed or groomed by societal standards. Like you said about those in Jamaica, they say nappy is happy. Like, so that for them, they don't care about that.
That's right, yep.
But for us here in America, he works for one of the biggest companies in Austin. All of his managing partners are white. And he will leave like midday. Like, of course, he'll take care of his work and handle his business at work. Like, he don't leave, and like, he knows when he can leave, right?
That's right.
Anyways, he will leave middle of the workday, around 2 or 3, come to me to get a haircut. But his counterparts will passive aggressively make fun of him for going to get a haircut.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. They will say things like, "Oh, such and such is going to get a haircut. We don't know why he can't go to Sports Clips to get a haircut."
Oh, absolutely not.
But they don't understand that.
Absolutely not.
They
We could
don't.
never go to Sports
Yeah,
Clips and get a haircut.
they don't understand that. They make a big deal as to why he goes and gets a haircut.
I do believe, other counterparts, because I don't think it's just white people. I think it's anybody but Black, unless you have the Black experience.
Sure.
I believe they don't understand it's a cultural, like it's a part of our culture. It's a part of our identity. So I'm not stepping into nobody's Sports Clips and letting you cut my hair.
Right. Yeah.
And for them, they don't really care about that as much as we do.
They don't.
I think it's like just not understanding how deeply rooted it is for us.
Yeah.
And there's no way in the world you can pay me to go step in Sports Clips and get back. And I'm talking about you want to pay me some good money to ease my peace of mind while my stuff grow back.
I know.
But I think it's like it's just a misalignment, and you also some ignorance.
It's ignorance and it's dismissive.
It's very dismissive, yeah. Absolutely.
To like your culture. And I think that Black people we're one of the most resilient people on the face of this planet, but we're also the most often dismissed. Like,
right, absolutely.
Our culture is often dismissed. And we always have to submit to other societal or cultural standards to kind of ease
our way in there.
Ease our way in.
Right, for sure, yeah.
I don't care if it's with friendships or it's with a colleague at work. We are often displaced to have to submit to other people's standard as opposed to people even acknowledging our standard. And so, again, Black men are not as sensitive to texturism as Black women are, but Black men are sensitive to their appearance because they know that they will be judged based on their appearance, especially if they want to be successful in America.
That's right.
If they want to be. They know. Now, they may get to a certain place like Jay-Z where you have so much money. And like now,
it don't matter. Yeah.
I have money, like, and money may not even be your objective. And if it's not, cool. But for most people in this world, money rules the world. The flow of economy rules the world. And so for Black men are trying to advance. They're trying to climb up the corporate ladder. They're trying to do all the things that they've never had the chance to do because of the fight. Like we're just now able to, and I'm saying this loosely, we're just not able to get an equal opportunity. Now, whether it's equal or not, that's a whole nother conversation, but I'm saying like we're able to, get to a place to where we at least maybe have a small chance.
Yeah.
Without certain systemic barriers, although some of those structures and barriers still exist today.
Absolutely, yes.
But one or two of us are getting our foot in the door a little quicker, than in the past. But when you get your foot in the door, like that doesn't mean that you all good.
Oh no.
Like there's still but it goes back to the awareness of the hair and the presentation and the grooming. If I want to make $250,000 a year in America, I have to look this way. Hence the my client that's in corporate with the beard.
That's coming, to you.
He's a $250,000 a year earner, but it comes at a cost.
Yeah, it does.
He can't wear his beard the way he wants to wear it. He can't let it grow as long as he wants to let it grow. My client who works for one of the biggest companies here in Austin, he can be in management, but he knows he has to look a certain way. And they're going to make fun of him for going to get his haircut in the middle of a workday as he walk out the door. But he knows that by going to handle his business, by coming to see me to get his haircut and groomed, by going back, he's going to be able to maintain his position. Because they don't think that that's a deal breaker because they go get a haircut once every 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we can't really go more than 3 weeks without a haircut.
No, that 3 weeks is actually pushing it.
21 days is pushing it.
That is. Some people can be on a weekly rotation, if they had the time and the money. But I mean, by week one and a half, you can start seeing it, So that's very true.
And so I know for me, I've mastered my art to where I can cut a client's hair and I can make that cut last for anywhere. Of course, it varies depending on because we all know we have different textures of hair.
That's right.
Like it's 12 different types.
Mm-hmm.
So depending
when you
on
say 12 different types, what are you talking about?
Like 1A, 1B,
You believe
1C.
in that chart?
I believe in the chart for the basis of being able to identify the type of hair.
Do you think they're correctly doing it?
I hadn't thought about that. Like not in that way. I hadn't thought about that. Like, I hadn't thought about that because I think that like even when I look at that chart, I'm looking at that chart from a place of like being able to identify how either how straight or how curly the hair is, right?
Okay.
And so when I look at my clients, and even like if you look at that in barber school, for instance, you're at least able to identify the type of people that are sitting in your chair. And if the hair is more kinkier or curlier, the haircut gets more difficult, as opposed to if it's more straight. If it's more straight, sometimes it's said to be easier. And that's not with bias. That's with the level of skill. Because, for instance, on a client with straight hair, you can take one guard and you can literally go against the grain. And that be it. It's going to be cut.
It's going to cut, yeah.
But on hair that is more kinkier, right, that is more curly, you can't just go against the grain, but you also got to come with it to lay it down.
That's right. So y'all are using it more for a point of reference for, I guess, just to...
Yeah, it's more of not an identity marker relative to judgment. It's an identity marker relative to the level of skill that you have to be able to do it.
Okay, so it's a little deeper for Black women with the curl pattern chart. So that's the difference.
That's the difference
between us and y'all.
So when we talk about the sensitivity, when we talk about like even just looking at the chart, it's different.
It's we're trying to not look at it no more because it's causing more confusion than anything.
Okay.
Because products, specifically, they are trying to curate these hair products according to said texture, and you can't do that.
You can't do that,
because we have to consider porosity.
Density. If it can retain moisture versus if it can't.
And we can't do that by putting a letter and a number and saying, hey, you got 1A.
You got 1A.
This is going to retain moisture because you got 1A.
Right, which makes the one that can't retain moisture worse. When it's like that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not science-based. And that's why if you're going to use it, I guess, as a point of reference to say you fit somewhere here. So according to that, I could see it working in the barber world, but definitely not in our world.
Yeah, that's why I say the sensitivity levels are completely different.
It's so different.
I don't want the women to be offended by me using the chart.
No, it's more of us hairstylists that are offended by the chart versus the consumer.
Okay.
It's more of us trying to debunk the chart. I had to reach out to... You know how we have to every year or it's every 2 years we have to renew our licenses, right?
Mine is up right now, but I gotta get mine done.
I just renewed mine. And I was taking the test and they were using the chart on that test. I emailed them. I was so mad about that. I emailed them and I told them this is the reason why so many curly girls, not just Black women, anybody who has a curl or a wave to their texture of hair, they are not being able to arrive to any solutions to their hair care needs because y'all want to reference everything to this chart.
Yeah.
And it don't tell us anything real.
Nothing.
I mean, you can use it. I think it's an illusion more than anything. You can use it if you want to, but the way how you help people is getting down to the science of it, whether they want to accept that or not.
Yeah, 100%.
It's science.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
Yeah, so I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Clearly, because it causes more problems for me than it resolves anything, but I can see you using it for a point of reference to teaching people, especially those who are not exposed
to,
to a lot of different textures,
Yeah, like I use that as a point of reference to say, hey, like, for one, I don't look at that chart as a good or bad chart.
Gotcha.
Even though when I said wavy earlier, I said the good wave.
Yeah.
I don't use the chart for a good and a bad reference. I use that chart specifically, especially for us that wear low haircuts. That chart can clearly, like I can point to that and say, hey, when you see this, anticipate that the hair is going to grow faster.
That's right.
Like that's why I said
that's why it's like a point of reference.
It's just a point of reference, identity marker. Like when you look at this specific number, that hair is going to grow back faster. Like you're going to see it grow back faster. They're going to be in your chair sooner in comparison to like to this particular.
It's so different.
It's so different.
Yeah. Even when you say the kinkier hair grows back faster, right?
When it's cut at its lowest.
Gotcha. Thank you for clearing it up.
All
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
It grows back faster when it's cut lower.
Gotcha.
So if the hair is longer, like don't forget the chart. Like that don't that doesn't matter. But if your hair is cut like mine,
it's gonna grow back.
Yes.
I gotcha.
And it's gonna look like it grew back faster. Like and I think that's like based on societal grooming standards, it's like, dude, you need to go get a haircut.
That's right. Yeah.
Because our 14 days.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's like they get double the time.
Yeah. That's just how it is. It's biology.
Yeah.
You know, well, not in that system. Now that has everything to do with the system.
Sure.
You know,
that has everything to do with the system.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let me correct myself.
Because there ain't nothing wrong with our biology. That has everything to do with the system.
That has everything to do with the system. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Do you think men were altering texture to be attractive or to be accepted?
I think they were doing it to be attractive.
Me too.
Yeah, I think they were doing it. Yeah, I think they were doing it to be attractive. Yeah. Like I said, and I think the theme is pretty consistent. Like I think women have just been more sensitive, and that's not wrong. It's not wrong for women to be more sensitive to those things.
I believe we caught more of the backlash.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I think women caught more of the backlash, and it just goes to show you how different men and women are, like how we just view things. Like we don't view things in the same light a lot of the times.
We shouldn't.
We're different.
You know, we shouldn't. We're different for a reason.
Yes, I definitely agree that women, especially when it comes to hair, has caught more of the backlash relative to hair. I can definitely empathize with that. Like, and it's very sad. It's very sad.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's so related to, we tie it to beauty a lot too, you know, versus a man.
I know.
You know? Yeah. And that's what I think it is. It's just an aesthetic.
It's an aesthetic. My wife hates when I use that word because I use it all the time. Because she just hates that I use it.
Stop using that word.
Stop using that word.
You should listen to the podcast. You're like, you said it again. You're like, no, Kenitra said it and I just followed.
She hates when I say the word aesthetic.
But it's in our language because it's what we do, you know. So, and it's just what it is, you know. But, you know, she hears you all the time. So it's different. You know, I get it.
She hates it.
Yeah.
She like, stop. Like,
what does she say?
Like, she may try to mock me when I say it, like, an aesthetic, you know, because I'm always saying something about an aesthetic. Yeah, but that's an inside joke between me and her for sure. Like, it's all about aesthetic.
It's all good. What conversations have you heard from your clients behind the chair around Dukes and X curls?
I hadn't heard anything direct. I've asked. A lot of them didn't even really kind of participate in that because you got to keep in mind, a lot of my clients, like, I have maybe 3 clients that are over the age of 45. So all of my clients are relatively young.
Okay, so they skipped that entire era.
Yeah, so for me, even just in kind of doing some research with the older guys that I have, like, they didn't have, like, and it's funny.
What is it?
Because even when I asked them about that, it's like, when we talk about the sensitivity, it's just like it's just
non-existent.
Yes, it's almost like, like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say about it. Like,
we grew up so different.
I know.
We grew up so different. They were very sensitive about texture. Black men were, or black young men were. You know,
like it was just like, and I don't like, and I was trying to gauge like, is this something that you were ashamed of, or like I was trying to gauge the responses, but it was like, it was almost like one of those black men shut down things. Like they didn't really.
So, okay.
They didn't really want to.
Is it that they're not open to being vulnerable about the subject?
That's what I'm thinking.
Or is it that it was no experience?
I'm thinking that they didn't want to be vulnerable about it.
So there is some type of sensitivity with black men with their texture.
That's what I was trying to gauge. That's what I was trying to pry just a little bit. You know, without like pushing too far. Like, why you keep asking me about, you know? Even though I kind of gave them context as to why I was asking.
Yeah.
But I also think too, it's like, you know, kind of like just, I don't want to talk about that. You know,
they should talk about it though. Now I'm really open to knowing how related our experiences are
Yeah,
now for real.
I
Because it's
know.
like, do you want to talk
I
about it or
know.
you just
I know.
don't have
and
the experience? I think it could be
or
both for y'all.
yeah, and I think too for men are they kind of walk on eggshells a little bit because they're trying to figure out like what's safe for me to say versus what's not. You know, like what's my safe space? Which I think now, modernly, I think some, not all, some Black men are starting to find that safe space. But I
Good.
also think too that there is a reversal to that. And the reversal to that is the Black men that don't want to become soft. And they think that being vulnerable
It's
is being
soft and it's
soft.
so
I
masculine,
know.
you
But
know?
but that's really like, they like, man, like, that's soft, bro. That's, and that's just,
Mm,
and for those men,
mm,
they're probably not gonna change. That's their mentality. That kind of allows them to maintain their masculine ego of being,
mhm,
because I don't think it's anything wrong with being hard or macho. Like, I don't think it's
mhm,
anything wrong with that.
mhm.
But I think it's space for both. I think it's space for the men that maybe want to have a little bit more conversation, open dialogue about experiences and past experiences and trauma or whatever it is, and then it's those, it's like, man, like, I can't do nothing about that.
Man,
Like,
leave
man,
that where it's at.
leave that where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm a press forward, So
Okay.
I think you kind of have
A little bit of
a little
both.
bit of
It
both.
depends on, I
Yeah.
believe, everyone's experiences too. Like you had a completely different experience,
Yeah.
opposed to someone else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do know, you know, uh, where this one guy, he has two brothers that are biracial and he's
Okay.
not. So his texture is not like theirs. It's
Yeah.
looser.
It's loose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one's is looser and then the other one is more on the wavy side. I would
Mhm.
say more like your texture.
Mhm.
And then his is more kinky.
Yeah.
And so he do have experiences with texturism where he has tried S curls and
Yeah.
all these processes to try to alter his curl pattern to make it looser or more ideal.
Yeah.
And he's not happy with his hair. And
Mm.
this is a recent thing. This isn't the 90s. This is something that's happening today.
Yeah.
And he's trying all these different products. I've been suggesting other products. He is trying products that I would not suggest for his hair type
Okay.
and porosity level
Yeah.
and density at all. And I think there's this product overload that's keeping him from reaching the goal.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out, is this a thing where you grew up seeing two people in your household with a completely different texture than yours, or are you trying to manage what you have to how it to make it look like how you want it to look, in
Okay.
so many words?
So let's talk about this, because you said something that kind of struck something in my mind.
Mhm.
Black men's desire
Mhm.
to have and produce waves with their hair.
Mhm.
Um, like, if I cut a guy's hair
Uh-huh.
down, like if he has a fro and I cut it down, oh yeah, I
Right.
gotta work to get my waves. Gotta work to get
Yes.
my waves.
Wave cap, blue
Like
magic,
right,
water,
right, brush,
brush.
but that's a desire.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm.
and my question is why? Now that we're kind of talking about it, like why is that? Like, why is having waves a desire? Like, why is that the goal?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Now, I think it's cultural. Like, I think that was kind of like
An era?
an era, and I think that was
Mhm.
kind of like the goal status for men is like, man, I can wait, I can get waves.
Mm.
But going back to the chart, which I know you hate,
I hate it. But let's go on back to it, child.
because a wave is really just a compressed curl.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna use
Literally compressed
it's a
curl.
compressed curl.
Mm.
Now, I may use some language that's forbidden on this podcast, but
Yeah.
this is just my unlearned language
Yes.
that I
That's
use.
okay. Come on.
So basically, arguably,
Mhm.
arguably,
Uh-huh.
arguably, and
Okay.
this is not a generalized
Arguably.
statement.
Yes.
Arguably,
Uh-huh.
the looser the curl to a degree, the easier it is to get the wave.
It's not true though.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not true at all.
I know.
Which goes back to my story about my brother. He
know.
never needed that processor because as soon as we cut it off,
know.
all we did was start brushing his hair, throwing blue magic and water on it, tying a wave cap on it, and boom, he had waves.
I know. Arguably.
Arguably.
That's what's said.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what has kind of been.
Sometimes them curls can be too loose.
They can be too loose.
Yeah.
I know. That kind of is what is passed around and kind of floated around. Now, whether you choose to accept that or not is on the individual.
What do you believe?
I believe that a wave is a compressed curl.
Okay.
That's what I believe. And so I can, again, I won't ever tell a client what he can or cannot do. But with my experience long enough with hair, I can kind of get a glimpse on if you'll be able to achieve that or not. Like,
that's right.
I can give you like a greater percentage. Like, let's just say I'm 80% right.
That's right.
It leaves me 20% room. It's just same thing with beards. Like, I have clients that come in, which my wife was saying the other day. She was like, thank you for not having a patchy beard. So for all of my patchy bearded men out there that are attempting to get a beard, I try to tell them, brother, it's not going to happen.
No.
But they believe that they can try. And I always
what are they doing?
Like they're trying to let it grow, but I always educate them and I tell them, I said, bro, the hair on your face grows faster than the hair on your head.
It sure does.
So, like, within a month, you can tell your beard potential.
And if it ain't there, it ain't there.
It's not there. So
can men get like a hair transplant on their beard? On the beard?
I hadn't heard of a transplant on the beard.
Me
I know
either.
The hair,
yeah, on the hair for sure, but the beard.
I hadn't heard the beard. I know there are some men that are trying to kind of do the hair unit on the face, which I think is foolish.
I hate this.
So yeah.
So much.
Yeah. I would never get into the hair unit game. That's not my thing.
Yeah. I remember you said that on the first podcast. So you staying consistent with that.
With that's not my thing. That's not my thing. I think it's a certain level of manhood. Like you just gotta accept that.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Y'all don't get the backlash we get.
It's okay.
We're not really. I mean, it depends. You know, your wife made the comment, but not all women are worried about that.
Yeah.
You know, some are, some are not.
Yeah.
But for us, a lot of men are worried about a lot of things when it comes to a woman. You know, so
and it comes from so many different angles.
It sure
does. From men, from corporate space, or the boss, or whatever.
But that's where it starts to me, like the oppression. It started there, and now we're projecting it towards 100%. Each other. You know, so.
Yeah. So that's kind of what that is. Like a wave is just a compressed curl. And for a lot of black men, like the goal for getting a low cut is to try to get the waves.
Get them waves.
And so now I'm thinking, like, again, you're bringing awareness to me with this conversation of texturism, which shows the impact of what it is that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
That's now I'm thinking, I'm like, I mean, I have clients that come like, hey, man, like, I gotta brush to get my waves back, but it's like why is waves the go? Like
why waves the go? Why you just can't get a low cut?
Why can't the cut just be the cut? Like,
why can't the cut be the cut? Because sometimes the cut is all. That's it.
Like, but where is the necessity for having the waves?
Is like that the gold membership trying to get back in the gold? They sitting in silver.
Right. I'm like, what's the like? Because
even in bronze.
Even for me, like I know guys that take a brush around wherever they go and they
constantly brushing. Do you think that's okay for the follicles to be constantly brushing your hair like that? Because I'm just thinking about wear and tear. You know, follicles can be very sensitive.
I know. I don't know. Like I don't do it personally, which is probably why my hairline is still intact.
You know?
Because I'm not aggressive with my hair anyways. Like,
that's right.
The only time I brush my hair is when it's wet, and I do it softly. Like,
that's right.
And I have a medium hard bristled brush because I need that hard bristle to like really drag that hair.
That's right, because it's curly. Like you have wavy curly hair, so you need it to drag it. That's
so like a soft brush is not going to do that. But I need a hard boar bristle brush to really just drag that hair forward. But honestly, I let my do-rag do more of the work than my brush does. So I have improved the quality of my do-rag choice. So I don't wear wave caps. Wave craps.
They are craps.
They are, yes.
That's why you said it.
Wave caps are crap.
They are. They are.
For one, too tight.
Yeah, and then it leaves that border around your forehead.
I mean, the hair is just too compressed.
Yeah.
So I've upgraded from just like standard do-rag to like velvet
Oh, yeah, I know
silk
which ones
type
you're
of
talking.
do-rag.
Yeah,
But
my
it's
brother used that one.
but it's
Yeah.
because the do-rag is thicker. So because the
It
material
is.
is thicker, it's going to lay the hair down in a more compressed way without the tension.
Right, yeah.
Because we already know, as you know, that the tension on the hair is never usually good.
No, it's not.
Which
It's
is
gonna pull it right
now we
on
get into the
out.
braids talked as a
Yep.
protective hairstyle,
And
as
it's
they would say,
not.
because it's
There's
not.
nothing protective
There's nothing
about it.
protective about
No.
braid. You know, so again, that's a whole other conversation.
It is.
That mean you
It
didn't even talk
is.
about, but we're on the same page about that,
That's
right?
right. Absolutely, we
But
are.
you don't want that tension. And so when you get into just standard, regular made $3 do-rags that you can get at Walmart or Sally's, like, you're going to get a very low quality material do-rag that's not gonna do what you think it did.
That's right.
But when you upgrade, and maybe some of the do-rags might cost $20, okay, that's fine. But it is a higher quality do-rag to where it's gonna compress the hair, but in a way that's not putting stress on the hair.
That's right. And that's what you're paying for.
You're paying for the difference in material.
That's right, to take care of your hair.
To take care of the hair for longevity.
right.
And that's what I tell clients all the time. Like, think about the longevity of the hair. You want to think about, like, the process that you're doing to make your hair withstand for a long period of time.
That's right. Yeah.
If you put a lot of stress and pressure, even with products that should not be in your hair, you are shortening the lifespan and the growth of your hair.
You sure are.
You know, you're shortening that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of men that don't even know. Which is when we get into the argument about pricing, which we were talking about earlier. Oh, I don't want to. And it's like, dude, you don't even come to the barber shop hygienic.
And I gotta wash your hair.
And most barbers don't even shampoo hair. They don't even do that.
No, they're not doing that a lot.
But the fact that I do, but the fact of the matter is, you don't even know basic hygiene for your hair. If I ask you what's the point of conditioner, you can't tell me, and you don't even use it. Oh, what type of conditioner? You don't even know. I use my girl. I mean, which is fine, because she probably gonna have some better stuff than you'll get on,
but
by
still
yourself.
know why
you don't even know why you do what you do.
Yeah. I've been educating my son. My son knows.
Should I leave it in or should I rinse it? You don't even know the difference and the benefit of either or.
Yeah. And you have to in order to get the results that you are even wanting.
That's it.
And then when you're not getting results when you sit in my chair, it's my fault. It absolutely is not.
Right. So again, that goes to, the texturism point of like, how are you treating your own hair? Like, let's stop the outside noise. Like, how are you treating your hair? How do you view your hair? Yeah. And it goes back to the question about, like, you know what? Why do I want waves? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why is my hair? Like, why is me not taking care of my hair and doing just the necessary thing? The necessity. Like,
why is that enough? Yeah.
You know, why am I having to?
Maybe it's about style too.
I know.
You know,
it could be. It could be.
Yeah,
for sure.
Could be about style.
But I think for black men too, it's kind of like a little status thing too. I think amongst other black men. Like,
I think black women gravitated to it as well, and then that became a thing.
Do you think it's like how curly the hair is, or?
I believe it's the aesthetic of how it looks.
That aesthetic?
But it is.
It is.
You know, I'm sorry.
No, I love the word.
Yeah.
I love the word.
But I believe it's just how it looks.
Yeah.
You know, how that's literally, it looks good. So
excuse my ignorance. This isn't just me being funny. It will fall into like the category of like what about like Hollywood waves or something like that? Like, is that a term? Is that
talking about that vintage bridal style that everyone is doing now? No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, it wouldn't fall into.
Yeah. Like the style that's sought after?
No.
Okay.
Because with the Hollywood vintage waves, that's like for everyone.
Okay.
Like, you see even white women get in the Hollywood vintage waves. Waves are strictly for black men.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if it's also to be more connected to being a black man. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the reason why I would say no with Hollywood vintage waves, because we're all doing the Hollywood vintage waves.
Sure.
Yeah. Aesthetically, if we're going to compare it just from the appearance alone, I could see some comparison, I guess, like some similarities for wanting it, because it's so highly sought after right now. Hollywood vintage waves, I think they're going to be here for the moment and they're going to go.
They're going to go.
I think it's a trend and I'm ready for it to die. I'm over it.
You have people that come to you asking for that?
I decline it. I don't want to do it. I do
Yeah.
not want to. I don't enjoy doing it. I'm tired of seeing it on every bride because you can't tell me that you're choosing a look for you.
For you. Like,
when you're doing
it's
the
universal.
Look, it's universal.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. It's about, to me, that's when you come to me on Hollywood vintage waves, you just want to be like everyone else. And I know I shouldn't say that. That's just my bias. And I will own my bias.
Yeah.
But those are not the brides I'm trying to attract. I'm looking for brides who are showing up to me wanting a style because this is who I am,
yeah.
and this is what I like, and it fits the whole aura of my wedding.
Yeah.
Some people book Hollywood vintage waves and it don't even match the aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You got too much going on. This is a very glamorous hairstyle. Right. You have a very glamorous dress. Yeah. You have a very glamorous headpiece, and then you also want a veil. It's just too much to me. Yeah. You know, I mean, blame it on my little simple ways, you know, but
I'm simple too, so don't
yes,
you're not
it's
alone
just,
in that.
to me, I think it's supposed to marry together.
Yeah.
Nothing is supposed to be defeated. It's clashing.
It's clashing. Yeah.
And I can tell you have good taste because everything looks good, but it just don't marry well. It's not
besides the Hollywood waves.
They look good.
Yeah.
You know,
you make it look good, but it's not who you are.
I believe some people it is. Yeah. But I do believe I can attract some personalities where I don't want to stand out. And this is what everyone likes now. So I'm going to roll with what everybody like. You know, that's my bias, in my opinion. And don't come for me after my opinion. I say this an opinion. I ain't say it was a fact.
Right.
So don't come for me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
If you can't tell. How did masculinity shape how Black men approached their hair back then? Especially in the 90s, because when you think about, I will use Snoop Dogg as a prime example.
Which I think he was very different.
Because he wore barrettes and knockaballs and beads.
That's why I said I think he was very different. Yeah.
The attire was what you would deem as masculine. So would you call that hairstyle masculine?
Oh, gosh.
Come on, Darius. I already know it's brewing up there. You already got something to say.
I know. I think it just kind of falls into actually what you were just saying. I think it was who Snoop Dogg was, and who he is now. I mean, because he still has the dread braid look.
Yeah.
I think it's just who he was who he was, and he didn't mind standing out.
Right.
Because I don't think that anyone was doing it like Snoop Dogg in that hairstyle way. Like the braids, like you said, with the breast or the beads or the ball at the bottom, he was the only really one that was doing it in the music industry, which again, it goes back to the earlier point of like, we get influenced by music. Now, I don't know anyone particularly that like necessarily copied Snoop Dogg relative to...
Not a lot. You seen, like Mac 10 started doing it.
But like it wasn't like a widespread trend that was sought after. Like I don't recall anyone having braids with the bead. Like it might be one little person here or there, but
the beads.
I feel like that came a little later. Like it wasn't at that time.
Yeah, it came a little later.
I think maybe like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But like when Snoop Dogg was doing it, I think he was kind of like ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And so like even now we kind of see that trend coming back, not with the beads, but we see the trend of the men getting braids again back. Now they're trying to...
What about the barrettes, with the plaits? I think Drake did that recently, where he had like barrettes and where you party and got ponytails everywhere.
I know.
Would you deem that as a masculine hairstyle, even though it's on a masculine man? No? That don't fit to you?
Nah.
It's not the masculine.
Nah, it's not... well, I don't want to use women vernacular because I am a masculine man, but I will say, let me say it with my D voice, it's giving.
It's giving? Even on somebody like Snoop Dogg and Mac 10?
I know.
Do you think?
Now, I think it's different for Drake because he's light-skinned. Like, I know that's not popular. I know it's not popular, but...
So on Snoop Dogg is more masculine than on Drake?
I would say so. Is
it because of the color
I think
of the
it's the skin.
skin?
I think it's the skin
What
tone.
about the mannerism? Snoop Dogg is kind of like
Yeah,
hard.
like and
I don't label Drake as
he's
hard
not,
at he's
and I think
not hard at all.
I know, but I think even societally, again, this is in parallelism with texturism, like we grouped colorism.
We did.
Like it's the
It's
same. It's
all
the
in the
same thing.
boat.
Like
It is.
so when you look at light skin men, you think pretty boy, soft, and somebody that's gonna be good to a woman, potentially, or player like. You know what I'm saying? It can go either way, I think.
It could go either way.
But then when you see like the darker skinned men, like they have a darker skin tone or whatever it is, like they have a certain thing about them,
Yeah, this all kind of biases.
It's all biases with
the hair,
together,
the color,
all of that stuff. And so I think, like with somebody like Drake, like it looks sweet. Like that's just how it looks. And it's like, oh, he's like for instance.
It just looks sweet.
But like you can look at a light-skinned dude and be like, oh, he a mama's boy. Drake looked like a mama's boy.
Okay.
Snoop don't look like a mama's boy.
Absolutely not. But you'd be surprised.
I know.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. But from the looks.
But we're just talking about like how it's perceived.
How it's perceived,
know. Because that's all cosmetics is. Like it's about now there's a law of power. Like when we talk about power and our place in the world. Everything is judged by its appearance.
Yes, for sure.
You can sit there and be like, oh, I'm not judging. You're lying.
You're lying.
You're lying.
You're absolutely lying. Yes.
You judge every single thing.
Yep.
What type of car somebody drive, how they shoes look. Man, I had a client judge me once. I had some, the headphones that I wear, they go over my ear.
Yes.
And they're open ear headphones. So that way I can hear what's going on around me without being like tone deaf, right? So I wear these headphones. I mean, I got them off Amazon for like 20, and they like the best headphones I never had. Like I can listen to what I'm listening to, audiobook, music, whatever, while still hearing what you asking me talking about. I can do everything that you can do on AirPods.
Wow. Okay.
He judged me by my headphones.
What's
like?
Up
I think he was like, oh, like like what type of headphones are those? But he was asking like in a way like why you ain't got like basically, oh, like you don't like AirPods was basically what he asked me, and I'm like, no, bro, like
them things hurt after sitting in your ear for so long.
Which is why I got open ear headphones because I can have them in my ear all day.
I don't understand why I have to have a certain AirPod.
But that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, like something's all the way down to a friggin' earpiece.
To earpiece. I ain't walking around with no Bluetooth. There ain't no Bluetooth. It's literally just an open ear. And open ear headphones are popular today, by the way. It's like for people that run, like they can be aware
you need to be
of your surroundings.
That's right.
As opposed to like having something lodged
and you can't hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing.
That's right, yeah.
You can't hear when somebody say something to you, whatever it is. So I have that so that I can be aware of my surroundings. And they are stylish too.
Yeah.
But he noticed that according to his standard of like, oh, like, why you ain't got AirPods? And it's like, bro, I don't want AirPods. Like, I've had AirPods before, and when they stopped working, I went and got something that wasn't AirPods. Like, I mean, hell, I ain't gotta explain it to you.
And it's just so sad that I gotta be judged by the type of earwear.
Right. But
you're right.
Everything
no matter where you go,
judged.
No matter what you do,
everything
you're
is
gonna
judged.
be
and so
judged.
If you say that you don't judge, you're lying.
You are absolutely lying.
If I came in here, now I'm getting in your seat now.
Okay.
If I came in here without a haircut, because this time last week I did not have a haircut. If I came in here looking the way that I was looking last week, you still would have me as a guest on your podcast, sure.
Absolutely.
But the first thing in your mind would be like, why he ain't got no haircut? Why doesn't he have a haircut?
I don't know. Because there's so many reasons why we do what we do with our hair.
True. Well, you're open-minded. Let me say the average person.
The average person, for sure, that's not in the beauty and grooming industry.
And that does not have the awareness that you have.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have the open-mindedness
they
to say like, oh, well, maybe he's doing something different. That's open-mindedness. Maybe he's growing his hair out. Maybe he's happy as nappy. Like, if you don't have that and you are conformed to grooming standards today,
Society's grooming standards for a black man.
For a black man, you say,
That's
why doesn't he have a haircut?
Yeah. It depends on also the era you grew up in, too, because if you grew up in that 60s and 70s, they definitely concerned about you not having your hair groomed properly and stuff.
Yeah.
And my son just opened me up to a lot of that as well, from all the different haircuts and styles that he wanted. And the transitions that I had to experience with his hair.
Yeah. Because, I mean, both of your kids have dread. Well, I mean, I know you said dudes doesn't have dreads anymore. But both of them had dreads for a long period of time.
And there's a lot of different transitions that you're going to go through.
And stereotypes that you have to deal with that.
Yeah. Especially depending on the end goal. You know, if like he did not want to cut it off. He just wanted to cut it at the point where it was no longer locked.
Oh, okay.
So he still wanted a fro.
Yeah.
But there was still a very deep line of demarcation from where the fade was to where the lock started. Yeah. So he had to look a little weird until that, till it all grew together. Yeah. And
how long did that take?
Not even a month.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
I had grow fast.
Yeah, it grew quick. And he didn't have to stay in that phase for too long, but it's still an eyesore, to see.
I always say this. I love I love the color of my skin. I love the texture of my hair.
Absolutely.
Because it reminds me of the motherland.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Keep going. I have something to say about that. Keep going.
It reminds me of the motherland because our hair literally grows naturally. Like, and when I say naturally, everything that's in nature sprouts up.
That's right.
Our hair sprouts up and it grows out. Our hair really doesn't fall.
No.
So in order for our hair to fall, we usually have to use some type of chemically processed formula, some iron, something that really wasn't made for our hair to make it flow with the ground.
That's right.
As opposed to go up to God.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right, yeah.
I mean, because it's like a tree.
It is. And it looks like a tree.
It looks like a tree.
When you just leave it on, it looks like a tree.
It looks like a tree.
So on one of my podcasts, when I uploaded on YouTube, this girl told me that she was dating this guy with a looser texture.
Okay.
And she would talk about how good, quote unquote, his hair was, and she wished she had his texture and all the things. And he told her, well, I love your hair because your hair is closer to the motherland. He was like, this hair is taking me away from the motherland.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that is the most beautiful thing.
Sure.
A man could reassure a woman about when she is struggling with texturism.
I know.
And I was just like, girl, I hope you still with him. Where you at?
I know.
I ain't asking that, but just wondering.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Like,
yeah, he told her that. He told her, well, I love your hair more than my hair because it's closer to the motherland. And I was like, oh my
it is.
Gosh, yeah.
Like if you think about the way we would naturally wear our hair without having to
alter it
in any way, it would be closer to the motherland.
It is closer to the motherland for sure. Yeah. So I was just like, he opened my mind, just from a view, just a different POV. You know, like why wouldn't you want to be connected more there than anywhere else?
Right.
You know,
the origin of all things.
Yeah. Do you think some of these standards around texturism were reinforced within our community, the Black community? Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I don't think that we've done ourselves a service.
Right.
I don't think we've done ourselves a service. When I think back to like the civil rights movement, like aside from the Black Panther Party, there's kind of this little trend that's starting to circulate again within the Black male community. Especially on social media, about this soft line versus a hard line. Talking about the edge up.
Okay.
So during the civil rights movement and before,
it was a soft line, right?
Which a soft line is really no line at all.
No lineup.
Correct.
Terrence Howard is infamous for that.
He's very infamous for
yes.
that. Terrence Howard is like a modern day figure that we can look to where he does not get a hard line.
No, he don't.
But another figure would be like Martin Luther King.
Yes.
Like he didn't have a
nope.
He didn't have a hard line.
No.
Malcolm X really didn't have a hard line. So like when you go back into, 60s and before, you can see they didn't have hard lines. Like they did. There was no, like that box look didn't become a thing until like the 80s.
Yeah.
So prior to that, everything was soft. Everything was natural. I gravitate more toward that. Like as a professional barber. Now, do I do hard lines? Sure.
Yes.
But the ramifications of that hard line is that the haircut doesn't last as long. So if as Black men, if we did not do hard lines and have this expectation, which hard lines is an art form, by the way.
Right.
It's an art form and it's a skill. If we got away from that and we went back to the soft lines, then guess what? Much skill wouldn't be needed for barbering. Now, barbering is still barbering, but what I'm saying is from the skill of softness to hard lines and fading, that is a very steep slope of skill.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So when you talk about pricing, when you talk about, oh, I'm not paying this much for a cup, like you're not understanding that basically fading is exotic.
First of all, it requires a lot of skill set to fade.
Fading is exotic. Like that is an exotic skill set. Like that's, if you want to say fading is for the elite. Like it's not for the everyday man. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that because I think that we need to understand that relative to fading, hairstyle, hard line, soft line, like all of these things are like skill based, and not every person can do it. That's why you don't go to
they
sports
might
clips
offer it, but
because they can't do it. Like they're trying to do something that they cannot do. That's the fading. That's the line. They cannot do
your
it.
Boy don't go there.
That's why he don't go there. You know what I mean?
Get out of here.
So again, like when we talk about that, it's a matter of the evolving skill of barbering.
It does, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I've never thought about that at all. And if I'm not thinking about it, consumers are not thinking about it, which is why they don't understand why pricing is the way that it is.
They don't.
Yeah.
Like, and I always say, like, even with pricing, like if pricing is such a thing for you,
go to sports clips.
You can. And some people will say that's a weak argument. Okay, I'll take that, but let me take it a step further because I'm never going to be outdone. So
come on.
You know what I mean?
Yes, come on.
But if money is the object, if that's the objection, how much something costs, then why are you concerned about the outcome? Like we're not even like, yeah, we can say sports clip, but like, why are you concerned about the outcome?
That's right.
Because your sole focus is how much money you're going to spend.
And if that's the focus, then go to sports clips.
Go to sports clips.
That's
like why,
right.
Like I mean, why is looking in the mirror such a big thing?
That's right.
Why can't you just get it done? Oh, I don't care how I look and you just go on about your business. Like, why is that not the thing? You know? But the moment that you start getting into preference, then guess what? You start getting into pricing.
That's right.
Because you can't have preference. Custom. Right. Like you can't have preference without price.
Nowhere. Not just in the industry.
Not just in the barbering industry. Anything.
Yeah,
if you have a preference for where you want to live, prices go determine a factor.
Oh, okay.
If you say, you know what, I can only afford $800 rent,
then pricing gonna determine that factor.
Then price go determine that factor. Crime. You like all of these other things are going to determine based on your price point.
That's right.
But if you say, you know what, I want X amount of dollars, I want to live, as my daddy was saying, the high rent district.
That's right. You gonna pay.
You gonna pay. Crime gonna be low. You gonna have accessible grocery stores, Whole Foods. You know, you gonna have electric cars and vehicles. You ain't gonna have broke down cars all in the driveway in the parking lot.
That's right.
You ain't gonna have no shoes over who drunk the Kool-Aid.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna have folks walking their dogs, smelling grass and touching grass.
Yes.
Walking and jogging. Yeah. Without fear for life. You know, like, but I'm just saying, like, so when price becomes a factor, then guess what? That's getting into preference.
It is. That's just I love the analogy.
Yeah.
And it needed to be broken down like that because I've never used that as a justification to why prices are the way that they are in our industry. But that one right there, like if you don't understand that, then you're not gonna get it.
Yeah. Like
or you don't want to get it.
That's
right. You don't want to get it.
You don't want to get it.
That's right.
And I think too, relative to pricing, people that have money don't complain about pricing.
That's right.
And this now, this is not about pocket watching or saying what someone makes or doesn't make, but this is the place and the position that I've taken relative to our industry and as I would consider the pricing war. I'm with you if you cannot afford it.
Right.
I'm with you.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I'm in arms with you because you should be able to afford it. You should be able to, but guess what? It's not your fault.
That's right.
Because there are bigger things at play as to why you can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. I'm not your enemy.
Not at all.
I'm with you. I'm in arms because you deserve more.
I have a
You deserve
cousin.
more.
I have a cousin. He say, I don't question no one's pricing when I'm interested in doing business with them. He
No
said the
way.
first thing I say is I gotta make some more money.
Right.
And
100%.
100%.
100%.
And I'm the same way. If I can't afford something, I'd be like,
Yeah.
how can I afford it?
Yeah.
What can I do to
Yeah.
earn additional income?
Mhm.
Or what do I have? Some subscriptions or whatever the case may
Right.
be that I can get rid of. But I'm
Which, 'cause
not
that
gonna.
stuff is not necessary.
No, but
But
I'm
how
not
you
gonna
look is
question your
necessary to
price.
you.
That's right. I'm not
You
gonna
know?
question your price
Mhm.
because if I'm interested, I already know it's coming with a good penny anyway.
Sure.
Because I know how I am.
Right.
You know. So if I'm interested in your work, I already know I'm about to pay.
Now, am I saying everything should be expensive? No.
No, I'm not saying that either. But sometimes your
Sometimes
taste is just
yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
expensive.
It
You
is.
know, it is.
Like, and the intangibles that you pay for.
Mhm.
Like you want everything your way at your and
It
this
don't
is
work
this is
that
not
way.
a Build-A-Bear. Like, you know, where you pay $20 for the bear and you get to stuff it with whatever you want. Like, it's not
Right.
that. But I know we kind of got off topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think it's
it
still
still need to be
necessary.
talked about.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it's still good information. We're not babbling.
Yeah.
It's still good information at the end of the day. And it need to be said. And I can't tell you how many hairstylists come on this podcast and pricing gonna always come up because it's just an everyday thing that we deal with.
Mhm.
You know, someone always want to bargain, negotiate, you know, and why is it like this? And it's just an exhausting conversation at this point with them. You know, it's 2026.
Yeah.
And you really want to pay $20 for a haircut. That's not gonna happen. I mean, sports clips to get
Yeah,
happen
but
for
I
you,
mean,
but it's not gonna happen.
they'll also argue and say, "Oh, well, you need to cut more clients." Well, that sounds pretty selfish. Like, why do you want that for me?
I need to go home.
You feel what I'm saying?
You have a
Like,
wife and a kid, and a kid and one on the way. I want to go home.
you know what I mean? But
and
again,
that's just too much on the emotional labor, physical labor.
know.
That's a lot.
Man, I cut less clients today, like when I say per day, like, and I still go home and I'm like some days are like really hard.
That's
like,
right. It depends.
Not like because it's about the energy transfer. Like, who didn't work my nerve today? You know, like
that's what I said. The emotional labor. The emotional labor.
and it comes with any job that you do.
That's right.
But like, no matter what you do, you're going to have people that like, God, they get on your nerves.
Yes.
Or like they don't want to cooperate. You know, they don't want to do things the right way. You know, things like that. But I think that's so dismissed in our industry about like, oh, like, because everybody think we are after the next dollar, and it's like I would rather have less. Like, I would have less in quantity and more in quality.
That's right.
Meaning, like, I have less clients that I have to work
and
with,
have
but more quality clients
that I'm working with. That's
where, like,
right.
I actually enjoy it. Like, I always say for clients, be worth working with.
Because we don't have to work. Listen.
Yes. But I keep that mindset when I'm doing business with people. Like, how can I be a joy to work with? Like, if this was my podcast studio and the gentleman that's operating this studio was like, I'm always coming in like, how can I be a joy for him to work with?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want him to like dismiss me or
here he come.
Like, I don't like, but you know people like that.
Oh yeah,
I
know people like that.
You know
now today where I am not enthused by your presence at all. If anything, you have, and it shouldn't be this way, but now my energy is altered. Depending on what you want to be on today, you know.
Right. Yeah.
All right, we didn't get through all the questions, but I'm gonna ask this one final question because y'all, we done went over time.
Still relevant though.
Very relevant. It's a good podcast. If a young Black man asked you today about altering his texture, what would you want him to understand first?
Well, I would ask questions before getting him to understand anything.
Okay.
Just why? Why? Like, because I think with anything, and it's not just with this question, but just anything in life, this life lesson, like, what is the motivation? What motivates you to want to do this? And I ask myself those questions all the time about anything that I do. And I want to raise my children with the same questions and things. What is the motivation? Is it because it's something that you saw? Is it because it's like, where is the influence coming from? Gauge the influence. So it would be less about getting him to understand, and it would be more about asking, what is the motivation? Who did you see? Where did the influence come from? Because influence is subtle.
That's right.
Influence is invisible.
It is.
It's like air, like you can't see it, but it's always working. You know, it's just like air. Like you can't see it, but you're always breathing. You know, like so influence is subtle. So like where did the influence? Like because did this? I mean,
it's very abstract.
It's very abstract.
Yes,
I highly doubt that you just came up with this in your head.
That's right.
Not doubting your intellectual fortitude, but like where did this come from?
Yeah, where did this energy come from?
Where did it come from? You know, and I think that from there, if I can gain clarity from that question, he can provide that. Then maybe the conversation may go a different way.
That's right. That's right.
Know,
I think asking questions first is always important before you suggest anything.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have the understanding.
Yeah.
So that y'all can both have the understanding.
Yeah.
You know, you providing your input.
Yeah.
It'll just create some misalignment somewhere and definitely some misunderstanding, you know. So I think that's a great approach. Ask the question first.
Well, I think, and it's also the rule of thumb, is you ask questions with questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ask questions. I had someone ask me, again, this is about life. This isn't just about the question, but it still applies. Asked me like, man, basically he asked me to tell him his blind spots and to like kind of tell, like just kind of self-assessment. Like, hey man, like can you be honest with me about my blind spots, about where I may be? And so I understand how human nature works. And so I asked him a question with a question. Like I didn't answer his question because I didn't have enough information.
That's right.
To answer his question.
That's right, yeah.
So instead of me just, even though I knew his blind spots and I had an internal perspective.
But you need clarity.
I need clarity as to, like, you know, the prompting of the asking. You know, so I answered his question with a question, like, what are your blind spots? Like, what do you see your blind spots are? And if you say something that I agree with, then I'll confirm that for you. And if it's not, then not, because I don't want to make an enemy out of you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
You ask me about blind spots and I say something offensive and now we ain't cool no more.
We ain't cool no more, you know? So it's just really about asking questions with questions. The human nature rule of asking questions with questions. So that's what I would do to that young man.
That's right.
Or what I would ask him, you know, where's this motivation coming from? Like, you know, why do you want to alter your hair?
Yeah.
Like, did you see something on a music video, YouTube, somebody at school? Like, you know, where is this coming from? Which is why, like, again, life rule of thumb. But like even my philosophy regarding my family is to keep my family very tight with my children for the first couple of years to limit the influence. Now the influence is always going to be because they're going to
at least a few, not even a couple. You know, like you can extend it to like they're like 9 or 10.
You know, like, keep it close. Like these are the people that you know, and some people will object how like they're going to be antisocial. No, they won't.
No, they won't.
No. We're just creating boundaries. You know what I mean?
That's right. And you need that heavily, the whatever values I have to give you in life, I need them in you before you go out into the world.
I'm talking about, like branded.
I'm telling you. And before you go out here, that's right. Before you get out here into this world, and you're so easily
they don't even know.
Because you didn't have those boundaries.
I know.
You know,
and some of those boundaries come with hair as well.
They sure do.
They come with hair as well. Like, this is who you are. This is your hair. This is how it is. This is how you care for it. You know, like that's the thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? If you can't care for it in this way, then do something else.
Yeah, you know for sure. Yeah,
because your hair needs TLC.
It sure does.
Give it tender love and care.
That's
you know,
right.
Like that's just what it is. So that's what I would ask.
I think that's great. I really do. Asking questions before assumption, and then you make a side of you and them.
You know what I mean? Facts.
Okay, so we have come to our time, and unfortunately, Darius and us, we have to wrap it up.
We always have a good time.
Nah, for real. And Bryce is amazing. He's so patient with me. I love him to death. He just be putting up with my shenanigans. I just love him so much. But not because he put up with my shenanigans. He's a great person, a great podcast engineer.
Yeah.
So yeah, just shout out your socials again and let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and TikTok under Premium Fade League.
Okay.
That's it. PREMIUM Fade League. Like, you gotta put that at the end because people be like, league, you know, Premium Fade League.
That's LEAGUE.
Like the National Football League, you know. League.
They know what you're talking about now.
LEAGUE. You Premium fade lead. So
well, thank you
premium
so much.
and not premier. Premium.
Premium. That's important.
It is. People be saying premier
and
sometimes.
no S on the fades.
Right.
Premium fade league. Shoot. Man,
Facts.
you gotta be specific.
Yeah, maybe a little word salad, but it's all good.
It's all good.
The PFL, baby, PFL.
Well, I think that remind me of NFL.
Yeah. Premium Fade League, National Football League.
Yeah. Now y'all shouldn't mess that up.
Yeah.
At all. It goes back to you telling me that you used to play football too.
I did.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate, you carving out the time to join us on the podcast once again. I know you're busy with business, family, growing family.
Yeah.
So for you to stop by, I'm grateful to have this conversation with you.
Thank you for having me. And like I say, for having this wonderful platform to talk about comfortable things and some uncomfortable things.
That's right.
That can raise awareness like it did for me today. So thank you for your platform.
Yeah, I mean, it did, but I think you're already there. It's just,
unlearning and relearning.
Right.
That's
you
all.
Caught yourself quick. I didn't even have to say nothing.
Yeah.
You was like, wait a minute.
Right.
But
again, that's the awareness.
Yeah.
And that came from today.
Oh, thank you.
That's how big of a blessing
it
is for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
For sure.
Conversations like this matter because they remind us that hair has never just been hair. It's been history, pressure, expression, and sometimes protection. When we look back at the choices Black men made in the 90s and the choices Black women have been navigating for generations, it becomes clear that texturism didn't create different wounds, it just dressed them differently. Healing doesn't come from pretending those moments didn't happen. It comes from understanding them, naming them, and giving ourselves permission to release what we were taught about worth and texture. Thank you, Darius, for holding space for this conversation, and thank you for listening with openness. If this episode resonated with you, share it, sit with it, and keep the conversation going.